Hello, and welcome back to the Own Your Genius podcast, a space where we encourage you to use your education and your experiences to create dope businesses. I am your host, brand attorney LaConya Murray, owner of Author Mark IP Solutions and the founder of Mark Legal. If you're on my email list, then you know that the theme for August is all about trademark infringement. In this month's workshop, we'll teach you what to do when you think your brand has been jacked by copycats. The workshop is on August 20th at 11 a.m. Central Time. We're going to drop the link to the workshop in the show notes, so make sure that you register so you can attend, right? Today, we're diving into the cost of confusion when your brand identity isn't clear and how you can use clarity as both a legal shield and a strategic advantage. I'm amazed by the business owners who claim to be building million-dollar brands, but they use logo generators, don't know the HTML codes for their brand colors, and they have a different elevator pitch every time you ask them about their brand. If your audience can't tell who you are, neither can the copycats. And that confusion costs you more than just followers. It costs you trust, it costs you revenue, and it costs you legal protection. So here's my question for you. Is your brand clear enough to be protected, or is it just blending into the noise? Welcome back to the Own Your Genius podcast, where we talk about building smart businesses, creating standout brands, and turning your intellectual property into income. I'm your host, Attorney LaConya Murray, founder of Author Mark IP Solutions. We're a boutique firm that helps professionals and experts use legal clarity and brand strategy to protect what they've built and grow what they've created. We got a good one for you today, so let's get started. So let's get right into it. Brand clarity is one of the most powerful tools you have as an entrepreneur or a business owner. It's the difference between being remembered and being overlooked, between attracting loyal customers and blending into the crowded marketplace. Today, we're breaking down what brand clarity really means and why it matters and how it can move your business forward. So brand clarity is all about consistency. It's about making sure your visuals, like your logos, your colors, and fonts, are instantly recognizable and always on point. But it's more than just looks. It's about having a clear, unified message that communicates your values and delivers a seamless customer experience, no matter where and how people interact with your brand. Think of brand clarity as the foundation that supports every interaction that you have with your audience. On the flip side of that, brand confusion creeps in when your messaging is all over the place, your imagery shifts from platform to platform, or your value proposition is really hard to pin down. We don't know what it is you do and what you stand for, right? Maybe your Instagram looks very polished, but then your website feels a little off-brand, or the description of what you do changes every time somebody asks. This kind of inconsistency leaves your audience guessing, and when they are confused, they're less likely to buy, share, or even remember you. But on the legal side, right, clarity protects your brand from copycats. When your identity is distinct and documented, it's so much easier to defend your business if someone tries to imitate it or infringe on your brand. And to be clear, brand clarity is not just about looking good. It's a growth strategy. Clear, consistent branding positions you as an authority in your field and gives you a competitive edge. It removes barriers to purchase, boosts credibility, and creates a memorable experience that keeps customers coming back. Over time, this clarity becomes a magnet for opportunities, helping you stand out and scale up. Marketing clarity means campaigns hitting the mark because your messaging resonates with the right people. As you scale, it ensures that every new hire, partner, or collaborator knows exactly what your brand is about, so your reputation remains strong so that you hire the right people even as your brand grows. And when you're clear about who you serve and what you offer, you're going to naturally attract your ideal clients and partners, making every interaction more meaningful and productive. You prioritize clarity in your brand. It's not about looking professional. It's about building a business that's protected, profitable, and positioned for long-term success. Your genius deserves to be seen, understood, and celebrated. So let's make sure your brand is as clear and compelling as you are. So we talked about what brand clarity looks like from essentially a marketing standpoint, right? So let's talk about legal for a minute. At its core, trademark law is designed to help businesses protect their unique identity. Think your brand name, logo, slogan, or even specific colors and sounds. But here's the catch. For your brand to be registered and protected as a trademark, it must be clear, distinctive, and not easily confused with someone else's brand. If your branding is vague, generic, or inconsistent, the United States Patent and Trademark Office, also known as USPTO, they may reject your application, which will make it tough to secure those legal rights. One of the most common traps in branding is relying on names or marks that are too generic or merely descriptive. So a generic trademark are terms that simply name the product or service, something like computer for computers. It cannot be protected at all under trademark law because they fail to distinguish one brand from another. Now, descriptive trademarks, they fare a little bit better, but only slightly. A descriptive trademark, what that's going to do is directly describe a characteristic or a quality of the good or service, such as get it there for a courier service, right? Without a secondary meaning in the mind of the customers, these marks are weak and difficult to defend. Because generic and descriptive marks don't create a strong, unique identity, they're more likely to be confused with similar offerings in the marketplace. So if multiple businesses use names that sound alike or directly reference the product, customers may easily mix them up, resulting in loss of sales, diluted brand reputation, and an increase in legal vulnerability. Basically, generic and descriptive trademarks set the stage for confusion, both in the marketplace and in the courtroom, and that's not what we're looking for, right? We don't want that. A problem that I often see when choosing a trademark from a lot of people is that they're choosing names that are already saturated in their market, and that's going to carry a significant risk. So what I mean by that is there when many brands in the same industry use similar words, imagery, or concepts as part of their trademarks, your business can lose this unique identity. So it's not about being generic or descriptive. You can actually have something that's suggestive or more unique or more distinctive as a name, I should say. But if multiple people are using that same trademark in that same industry, then it's no longer unique, right? And because of that, consumers may struggle to distinguish your brand from the crowd, leading to a loss of goodwill and diminished brand recognition. Worse, if the market is crowded with nearly identical and very similar trademarks, any enforcement action you'll take, such as trying to stop a competitor from using a similar name, will be much harder to do. Legal authorities and courts may view your trademark as less distinctive and less worthy of strong protection because the marketplace is already noisy with similar signs. So listen, saturation makes it easier for competitors to defend themselves against infringement, and it makes it harder for you to build a loyal customer base. Ultimately, saturated trademark increases the risk of customer confusion and undermines your legal rights, and it may force you into a costly rebrand effort sometime down the line. And we're trying to avoid that. And when we're talking about confusion, you're like, okay, so what if, I don't have my brand all together and it shows up as one thing over here and another thing over here? What does that have to do with anything? Let me just tell you, right? So if you're going to allege trademark infringement and you need to defend your brand in court, clarity is your best friend. The more consistent and recognizable your brand is, the easier it is to prove that someone else is infringing on your rights. But if your branding is a moving target, different names, logos, and messaging, depending on what platform you're on, it becomes so much harder to show that your brand is unique and worth legal protection. Inconsistency gives copycats room to argue that there's no real confusion, which makes it tougher for you to win your case. And here's the bottom line. Proactive brand clarity isn't just a marketing move, it's a legal shield. By making your brand identity strong, consistent, and unmistakable, you're building the first line of defense that's going to help you avoid disputes, win over your audience, and protect your business for the long haul. Don't wait for confusion to cost you. Own your genius by being clear from the start. So what can you do if you're ready to turn your brand into something that no one can mistake or imitate? Here's some things that you can do today to ensure your brand stands out, attracts the right audience, and stays protected for years to come. These steps are simple but powerful moves that every entrepreneur should make as their brand grows. So you ready? Here we go. The first thing that I would say that you need to do is audit your brand assets. Take a really good look at your brand names, logo, and taglines. Are they unique in your industry, or could they be confused with someone else's? Consistency is the key. Make sure these elements look and feel the same everywhere your brand shows up, from your website and social media to your packaging and your invoices. If you spot any inconsistencies or any similarities to other brands, right now is the time to make adjustments. The goal is for your audience to recognize you in an instant, just like that. When you move, they move. No, that's not the right thing. My bad. The second thing that you want to do is position with purpose. Your brand should be a clear reflection of your expertise and core values. Ask yourself, does this messaging tell customers exactly what I do and why I do it? Do my visuals and voice communicate what makes me different? Be intentional about how you show up. Everything from your color palette to your about page should reinforce what you stand for. The clearer your positioning is, the easier it is for your ideal clients to find you over your competitors. And the third action step that you can do today is start protection early. Don't wait for copycats or confusion to force your hand. Secure your name, your logo, and your other brand elements with trademark registration as soon as you can. Registering your trademarks with USPTO gives you legal rights and makes it much easier for you to defend your brand if someone tries to imitate or infringe on your work. It's a proactive investment that can really save you time and money and headaches down the road. Building an unmistakable brand isn't about perfection, it's about clarity. It's about consistency. It's about courage. Audit what you have, refine your story, and protect your genius before someone else tries to claim it. Start today and set your business up for long-term recognition and success. I know that we went over a lot, so I'm going to just give you 3 key takeaways from today's episode. The first one is brand clarity is essential. Clear and consistent branding sets your business apart, making it memorable, fostering trust and loyalty with your audience. Second takeaway is brand confusion creates legal and business risk. Cut it out, right? You need to be consistent because inconsistent, generic, or unclear branding leads to confusion, lost customers, and makes legal protection more difficult. The final takeaway that I will give you from today's podcast episode is be proactive, audit, position, and protect. You want to regularly review your brand assets for uniqueness. You want to intentionally position your brand, and you want to secure your trademarks early to safeguard your business from copycats and illegal issues. Prioritizing clarity in your brand isn't just about being professional. It's a strategic move that protects, grows, and positions your business for lasting recognition. Building an unmistakable brand requires intentionality, consistency, and the courage to protect your intellectual property early. Being clear and consistent is the best way to ensure your genius is seen, understood, and defended. And that's a wrap for today's episode. If you want to dive deeper into protecting your brand and your business, make sure you register for this month's workshop. Thank you so much for joining me. Let's take this conversation over to ownyourgenius.co. I want you to share this episode with 3 people and have them join you there. But before you go, you know what to do. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and rate the podcast. Until next week, keep building your business, growing your brand, and owning your genius.